What's up, everybody? Today, we're going to be talking about my personal experience with burnout. We're going to talk about YouTube burnout. We're going to talk about work, career burnout, and share how I personally recharge. So, hopefully, this video is going to be helpful for many of you. I think this is an extremely important topic. Not a lot of people talk about this stuff because maybe it shows weakness, a lack of passion, things like that. But I think it's actually quite important to talk about this. And I think it's okay to be vulnerable. So let's just dive right into it. So, the first thing that I'm going to talk about is I'm going to talk actually about uh, the YouTube burnout, just so that you kind of get a better insight of how things have been going on the YouTube front for myself. I've been doing YouTube for a very long time, on and off. And what I've been noticing is a cycle. I've had some time to kind of reflect on this a little bit, and I wanted to share it. So let's talk about the cycle that I've been going through in terms of YouTube. I've seen a huge pattern now that I'm looking like at my analytics and just the dates and things like that in the past few years for myself. I noticed that I hit months of what I'm going to call motivation, and usually that either begins it's at the beginning of the year, or it hits around like the end of the fiscal year, which is around like April or May. And what will happen is I'll get this like these months of motivation, and I go hard. I go real hard. And I'll go super hard, let's say April to June, and then I'll burn out. And it's been happening a lot the past 15 years. And I told myself that if I want to take this seriously, I need to break the cycle. And I think that's like the first most important thing with dealing with burnout, is that you need to understand that this is happening. You understand that there's a cycle and that you want to break the cycle. And then you need to figure out strategies on how you're going to do that. Well, the very first thing about breaking cycles is you can't continue to do the same thing that you've been doing. So for the YouTube front, what I did was I actually ended up registering a business, a sole proprietorship, to now force myself every single year. I'm going to have to record taxes and income and all those things, right? So now it's going to be a yearly thing where like I need to actually like report something to the government, to take it a little bit more seriously, like take this more seriously. And it's something that I'm building. It's my brand. It's my own personal side business, side hustle, whatever you want to call it. But it's a little bit more personal now, and it's not just me doing this on the side for fun or as a hobby. It's now like a governing entity that needs to be taken care of, that needs maintenance, that needs to be. I need to put work into it. So that was the very first step that I took for like, okay, if I want to break out of the cycle, what is it that I need to do to kind of make this a little bit more serious? What I realized when it came to like creating YouTube content was that I didn't have a great process or a template that I was working with. So there was always like this sense of like, I love recording videos and I love doing all that stuff, but then there would be like this sense of burden of like, oh crap, now I gotta like go and edit it and do all those things. And so what I found the past couple months is, as I am creating content, I am figuring out where the pain points are, and I'm consciously thinking about how do I improve it? How do I create better processes and workflows for myself? And I think that that's been huge, and it's been helping me because now at least I have like a framework that I'm working with, and there's like clear processes that I'm doing, which has been helping a lot. So something as simple as, okay, I have figured out like, okay, so I'm gonna create a video. What is it gonna be about? I'm going to quickly write down just an outline of what is it that I want to talk about, and I'm just spitting out notes into here. And then as I'm spitting out notes, then I'll start to do like I'll start to organize my thoughts on the video, and I'll start to outline it, and then that becomes kind of like my rough script. And that's how I'll start, right? So I'll do that, and then I'll do the recording, right? And then once I do the recording, then I do the editing. As I do the editing, I'll think about the thumbnail, what kind of thumbnail I want, do all those things. But like, I'll have a full-on process of how I'm doing things. I'm not just winging things like I used to. Oh, I have this idea, boom, wing it, press the record button, just start talking about it, and then edit it, right? So now there's just like a little bit more of a thought process that goes in, and it's been helping me a lot. I've also figured out a routine that works for me in terms of time, right? So for me in my life, it's a busy life. So it's either I do recordings late at night when everybody's asleep, it's quiet, or it's super early in the mornings. I'll wake up super early in the morning, do my routines, and then if the time permits, if I have a script ready to go, then I'll just hit the record button, right? But what's awesome is like I can write an outline or a script during my day. I'll go to the bathroom, or I'll have a lunch break, and I'll just have an idea. Because I do everything on the cloud, I can write down these notes and stuff like that. Whenever like inspiration hits. But like the recording process, it's like, okay, I have 30 minutes here early in the morning, nobody's awake, hit that record button. To help me with YouTube burnout as well, what I notice is I need to make sure that I'm doing a variety of different types of content that I actually enjoy creating. But at the same time, making sure that the content that I'm creating also brings value to the viewer, to you all. So I think that that's been a big kind of shift in my mentality as well. Is not just looking at the analytics and being like, well, okay, well, obviously this one is the most popular one, let's just keep doing that type of content. If that's the type of content that does not inspire or brings me joy, then don't do that content. Try and figure out what are the content that I actually enjoy making, and then just making sure that I try and add even a little bit of value to everybody else. Something you all might have started noticing is scheduled video releases. So hopefully, maybe some of you have noticed that my videos are coming out every Sunday. There's going to be a new video every Sunday. And what I've found with doing that is like I'll have bursts of motivation. So I'll have like two or three videos, like ideas, and I'll write them down, get them all ready. I'll record them. And in the past, what would happen is I would record them, and then I would try and rush, and I'd edit them all, while it's hot, while it's like still in my brain. And then I'll just once it's done, I'll publish them all, right? And then sometimes I'll have like a video like back to back, or like 3 videos in a week or whatever. And what happened is I did that burst, and then I would burn out. And so what I've noticed is when I'm doing these scheduled releases, what's happening is I don't have this pressure to like, hey, I need to make a video this week. What's happening right now is I actually have like this, I have videos pretty much I'm recording this mid-June. I already have almost at the end of July scheduled videos published and just waiting for the next Sunday to release, right? And because of that, I don't feel this massive pressure that I need to release a video, like 3 videos this week. What's happening now is I'm going, okay, I can take time, add a little bit more love and care, take my time to create the videos because I have this leeway. I have 6 weeks to focus on a new video, play some games, do other things in life to recharge so that I don't burn out on YouTube. And then the last thing I want to bring up about the YouTube burnout is that taking breaks. This is allowing me to take breaks when I need to, and it's been a game changer for me. Okay, let's talk about work burnout. Okay, so it took me a really long time to do better at seeing the signs of burnout for me personally. And again, it took a lot of reflecting, mindfulness practices, meditation, to kind of start to realize how I identify it, because it's different for everybody, right? So I'm going to share with you how I start to notice that I'm burning out from work. So one thing is I'm tired all the time at work, right? Like I go to work and I just feel tired, mentally and physically. Declining in performance, like that. This is another one where I'm starting to notice that I'm not running meetings well. I'm not directing people correctly. I'm not leading well. Yeah, like my performance, I can just tell, is not where I expect it to be, and others are expecting it to be. Another one is the passion and love for the work. Once I start to feel like I'm losing the passion for the work that I'm doing, that is also a sign of oh crap, am I burning out? Neglecting self-care. This is huge. And I'll share more about how I do weekly goal reviews. And I feel like that's can be a completely different video, honestly. But I do weekly goal reviews for myself. When I notice that I have not been doing mindfulness practices, if I have not been exercising or being active that week, and my sleep is not great, that is a great sign for me that I might be burning out from work. Last thing, and I feel like a lot of people might go through this, but for me personally, it's thoughts of quitting my job or just escaping, just wanting to run away. So I think that those are pretty important things. All right, so just perfect example. Okay, I was recording earlier this morning. It's my daughter's birthday, but I was hoping I would get up nice and early, get a little session in, and they woke up. It's her birthday, so obviously we have birthday presents and stuff like that just right outside my office here. And normally, I think in the past, I was in the flow, right? I was in the flow. I probably would have gone a little bit upset that now I can't finish the video because there's too much noise happening outside, and I would have to pause the video or whatever. But because there's no pressure, right, with YouTube, and I'm a month in advance already, I was able to just turn off the recording, say to myself, I'll return back when I have the opportunity to. So yeah, so that's perfect. I'm sorry this is gonna kind of cut, and it's gonna be a little bit jarring because I was talking about work burnout. But I just wanted to kind of just share that, right? How I think my mentality has changed so much since now that I've been doing YouTube more, and just how my mind is not working. But let's cut back to what I was talking about before, which was thoughts of quitting or escaping, which is the last sign that I would another sign where I'm oh crap, I'm probably burning out from work. So what are things that I found really helps me, okay, when I get to that point? First thing is you need to take time off. Like, and I know that sucks. And I remembered like being in middle of like production and we had like crazy deadlines and stuff like that. But I needed to take that time off to realize that the fire is still going to be there when I leave. Things are going to continue to move forward with or without me. It doesn't matter. And I think that that was huge for me to recognize that, because this happened a couple times, to recognize that and just be like, man, like life goes on, right? Life goes on. Work burnout isn't worth it. It is not worth it. Okay? There's a difference between like working hard, working smart, and just straight up overworking yourself to the point of burnout. Okay? Very different things. If you were to ask people who know me, who actually know me, they would never, or I hope they would tell you that I'm a hard worker. So I've built that reputation. And as long as you've built that reputation, then you're good. Okay? So take time off. Seriously, take time off. Take at least 3 days. At least 3 days. Like, that's the bare minimum. I would recommend 2 weeks, honestly. Because the first week, you're finally detoxing. You're finally relaxing your brain after 1 week. Okay? And then the next 7 days is where you finally get to recharge. Okay. Now I say 3 days because sometimes like you are like shipping a game or something like that, and you just need the 3 days on top of the weekend. So let's say you take off a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, you have Saturday, Sunday off. At least that way you can like finally kind of reset your brain. So yeah, that's something that I love to do. You hopefully, and this took me a couple of burnouts to start doing this, but after reflecting, you need to start setting boundaries, right? Start to realize, hey man, I've been working lots of overtime and I'm not going to do that for the next 2 weeks. I'm going to work my 8 hours, my 9 hours, whatever it is, but my regular hours, and that's it. If work doesn't get done, it doesn't get done, right? My health is more important than my job. Okay. And I know doing all these things is really difficult, but if you speak to your project manager, your leads, and your peers about your burnout, most of the time they're going to understand. And the fact that you're able to admit that you're burning out, managers who care, leads and directors and peers who care, they will understand and they will be more than happy to help you make sure that you get recharged. The ones that don't care are going to dismiss it. They're going to say that, you're fine, don't worry about it, just push through it. Question that. Question that. I think that's really important. And if that is the message and the advice that you're getting, try to understand why they're giving you that advice. Because maybe they were told to push through, or maybe there's something happening behind closed doors that maybe you're not aware of, or don't judge it right away. Try to understand why. Be like, hey, I noticed you said this. Like, why? Like, is there a reason why that you said it? Right? Is there a reason why you're saying that I shouldn't take a break or shouldn't take time off? Question it. Question it, okay? Okay, so now I'm going to get a little bit more personal. More life stuff, kind of so that you get a little bit more of insight of like just life, like how my life is, and potentially some of you might in the future be in the same boat, okay? Or maybe you are in the same boat, who knows? Balancing life, I have a family, I have friends, I have hobbies, I want to do this YouTube thing, right? Help educate, things like that. It's a lot. It's a lot. On top of that, I noticed that when my mental fitness or mental health, a lot of people call it, I call it mental fitness, I like that, and physical fitness and sleep, very important, okay? And making sure that I do things and I spend time resting and recharging. And I've been prioritizing this a lot more the past, I'd say 5 years. Past 5 years, I'm in my mid to late 30s. I've been prioritizing this a lot more, the rest and recharge, okay? And I think I shared earlier about my weekly goals. And in my weekly goals, I have these things, right? So I'll have things like, what did we do as a family this week? What did we do? What did I do with my friends? What did I do? Did I get to do my hobbies this week? How was my mental fitness? I like to make sure that I'm meditating or doing mindfulness practices 3 times a week. For my physical fitness, I want to be doing exercise for at least 4 times, right? And then for sleep, I try and hit at least 6 hours of sleep per day. Now, this is what works for me. This is not going to work for everybody. You need to figure out what works for you. And if you're still feeling off after like a month of trying a routine, then you got to tweak it, right? Like I tried doing 5 days of physical fitness. I tried doing 5 days of mindfulness practice. I tried to do 7 hours of sleep, but to be able to hit all the things that makes me happy, helps me rest and recharge, brings joy into my life, this is what worked for me. And this, I'm sure, will change over time as I grow and my family gets older and all those things, right? But for me, that is what works. So you need to find out what works for you, okay? And that's why I like doing my weekly goals, because then I get to kind of check to see where are areas that I'm starting to fall behind, which areas hit it. Because what I start to notice, especially in my personal life, is that if these things aren't hitting, like if I'm seeing like needs improvement this week, next week, needs improvement, I see a bunch of these needs improvements, I found that I'm typically in a worse mood. I'm agitated or really easily irritable. I'm very short with my kids. At work, I'm getting frustrated more. And I start to see this pattern where it's like, well, hey, right now, my life is not very balanced. And that is what's causing these other issues. Okay. Some of you might be asking, well, how do I even start a habit? There are tons of books on this, on like how to start habits and stuff. What works for me is I like to do like a reward system. Okay, and again, I'll share with you my personal reward system. Before I do like YouTube or gaming or any hobbies like that, I always make sure that I have already fulfilled my mental fitness for the week, and my physical fitness for the week, and that I've done at least a chore before I even give myself the reward of playing a video game or watching a movie or doing anything like that. Okay. Before I get to drink a sugary drink, like I love my bubble teas and I love my milkshakes, and I love like I even have one right here. I have like a healthy soda here, pretty much. It's like a healthy soda. Even a healthy soda, to earn that, I need to drink at least 1 liter of water, and I track all this stuff on my Fitbit. Again, you can use whatever you use, but I use Fitbit. Unless I drink 1 liter of water, I get to reward myself with a more flavorful drink. Okay. I also do something called before I eat sugar, like if I want to eat sugar, like eat like donut or candy or anything like that, I saved sugar for days that start with S, so weekends, right? Saturdays, Sundays. And then what I'm trying more recently, because I've been gaining some weight, is before I eat, I got to remind myself that eat what you need, do not overeat. Okay? So just simple little reminders like that and just being aware of things like that will help build habits. Okay? And lastly, I just want to share what are activities that recharge me. So first off, I love a nice hot cold therapy day. So I'll go to like sauna, steam, hot tub, jump into a cold plunge or a cold tub, and then just do that cycle. I love that. I feel so refreshed after doing something like that. I love getting massage. So I'll go get like a RMT, a registered massage therapist. I'll go and I'll just get a nice massage. I love playing golf. There's just something about being out in nature. And even if I'm shooting like crap, just being out there with friends, catching up with them and playing a sport together, like really, like it's just something, it's so relieving just to like listen to the birds, be out with nature, smell the grass, things like that. So I really love that. When it's summer out here in Vancouver, Canada, I love beach days. Like we have some beautiful lakes in this area. So I love just going to do like a beach day and just be a beach bum. I love that. Hanging out with friends and family, like in small settings. I love hanging out with friends and families in small settings of like maybe 5 or 6 of us together, because then you get the deeper conversations. I love having deeper conversations, not just like the surface level stuff. I find that when I'm at like a bigger gathering of more than 6, it gets difficult to have those deeper conversations with friends. So I prefer the smaller, intimate get-togethers. So one-on-ones or 2 or 3 people, and then the most I like to do is like 6. And then playing games. And more importantly, I love playing a variety of games. And so you're gonna notice with the new series Pixels and Play and the Layers of Art Direction, I'm playing a lot of different games, because you're gonna find that, and I found this actually, it's really rare to find an art director who just loves playing games. Lots of art directors they don't play games, but I love playing games. That's what got me into this industry in the first place. So I still enjoy doing it, and I don't want to stop. So that definitely recharges me. So yeah, these are lessons on burnout, my personal story, my personal experience, and I'm just sharing that with y'all. Hopefully this was a insightful video, and I hope that it gives you a little bit more of a personal insight on me, and hopefully this helps someone else out there. I really feel like this is such a huge topic and people don't talk about it, and I think it's important to talk about it, not to be afraid about it, to talk and express your feelings and stuff like that. So yeah, hopefully I'll see you all again next time. Bye now.